Nintendo. Nintendo was first a family company created in Kyoto, Japan. They made Western playing cards called Hanafuda. Later, they got the idea of making toys for children, and this was their most best-selling toy called the Ultra Hand that was only sold in Japan. As Nintendo started small, they started making beam guns for TVs, and then later in the future, they made laser clay shooting galleries from old bowling alleys. With technology getting greater and greater, the first Intel microprocessors came out, so then Nintendo started making electronics. Their very first home game system was a color TV Game 6. Then, the Game & Watch came out in Japan, which was very successful, and then Nintendo started getting noticed. Nintendo wanted to get more popular and popular, so eventually they moved to the US, which was one of the best gaming markets there is. Nintendo was getting very popular in the US until they tried their first arcade unit, which was a disaster, called the Radioscope disaster. Nintendo's first real success in the US was Donkey Kong on the arcades. As Nintendo started getting bigger and bigger, they wanted to have more entertainment in children's homes, so they invented their first home system console, the NES, Nintendo Entertainment System. Nintendo's biggest success came along as Super Mario Bros. Was created. Then later after that, the Game Boy came along. The Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Advance SP, and then eventually the DS. But before the DS, there was a greater success, the Nintendo 64, which had popular games like Mario 64, Star Fox 64, and Pokemon games. Then, really for the first time, Nintendo struggled to keep up with the competition of the Xbox and the PS2. But then coming right back with the Wii, which almost sold out in the first week. Now, to this present day, the Wii U and the 3DS have been Nintendo's newest creations. There is all that and more in the book Nintendo, the Company and Its Founders by Mary Firestone. Thumbs up!